Fáilte over Cáisiú, welcome indeed to another edition of the Irish at Home and Abroad. Now don't forget, later on we'll be crossing over to join Martin Logan in Manchester, who's out and about once again with the Irish community in the UK. Now this week we have a very special programme for you of music, song, dance and storytelling. We're here in Cushlock Community Centre just outside Westport, and it's for the launch of a brand new album called Moonlight in Mayo by well-known local entertainer and musician Pat Frayne. So here goes.
The name Abu, what does it stand for?
Well, it's a couple of meanings, but primarily it means to victory or forever. So I think that's the two meanings on it, yeah.
And how's the group going?
Ash, we come together for the odd event, and we're happy to do that, yeah.
Forever.
Forever, yeah. To victory, is it? Yeah.
Okay, once again, Abu.
Martin Hughes.
Well, I'm a sailor, you're my shipmate. We signed on together, we coupled our faith, and we hauled up the anchors, determined not to fail. For our heart's treasure, together we set sail. With no maps to guide us, we steered our own course. We rode out the storms when the winds were gale force, and we sat at the doldrums with patience and hope, and working together we learned how to go. Well, life is an ocean and love is a boat in troubled waters. It keeps us afloat. When we started the voyage, there was just me and you. Now gathered around us, we have our own crew. Now together we're in this relationship. We build it with care, it'll last the whole trip. And our true destinations are marked on any chart. We're navigating for the shores of the heart. But life is an ocean and love is a boat in troubled waters. It keeps us afloat. When we started the voyage, there was just me and you. Now gathered around us, we have our own crew. Life is an ocean, love is a boat in troubled waters. It keeps us afloat. When we started the voyage, there was just me and you. But now gathered around us, we have our own crew. Thank you guys.
Oh, fabulous version of The Boys. A very musical family you come from.
Yeah, not bad, I suppose. Yeah.
Your mother was a well-known singer.
Mother and father were very,
yeah.
very well known, I suppose. Yeah, the Pathfinders. They played all the clubs and all that in the UK as well. So.
And how are you doing yourself on the music scene?
Good. Yeah. Pretty busy. Yeah. Every weekend and all that. So it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday most weekends. So it's.
All right. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Gary O'Malley. And our next guest is no stranger to this part of the world where we are, in Cushlock Community Centre. Wonderful singer. This is very much, you're at home here, you're part of the world.
Yes, indeed I am.
Yeah,
and you're welcome.
Gormina Mahagat. Tell us a bit, for those who are not too familiar with the area we're in.
Well, Cushlock, I suppose, is about 10 miles from Westport on the N59 Clifton Road. And then you travel further on and you come by the Eriff River, which is famous for its fishing. Then go a little further on and you come to Leenane, where the film The Quiet, or the field was made. Yeah. And on your way then out to Clifton, if you keep going, the next thing you could be in Australia. And you know.
You're a well-known songwriter as well as a singer, Lenny. You've written a couple of good songs about
I have
County
written
Mayo.
a few songs, yeah.
So what are you going to do for us now?
Someone asked me to sing The Cottage on the Borderline.
Lenny Grimes, The Cottage on the Borderline, Galway and Mayo.
I have roamed this wide world over, I have sailed the 7 seas. I have no chains around me, I just wander where I please. Now I met a girl I can't forget, she just won't leave my mind. Where she lives or where she's gone, I guess I'll never find. She wore a silver locket with a picture of her home, just a humble little cottage on a hillside all alone. Now I wondered where that cottage was, but all she'd let me know, it was somewhere on the borderline of Galway and Mayo. It's a long, long way from from Denver to the west of Ireland, but it justifies my journey just to see my own dear land. From the Colorado mountains with their whispering willow wills to the green, green grass of Ireland and its lovely lakes and hills. And if I ever find her, oh, how happy I would be with the vision of her beauty that will haunt my memory, where my heart led me a searching to a land I do not know, to a cottage on the borderline of Galway and Mayo, to a cottage on the borderline of Galway and Mayo. Thank you.
Fáilte you're very welcome back to part 2 of our Moonlight in Mayo show, coming to you from Cushla Community Centre. Now, the main reason we're here, of course, is because of a new album that's just come out called Moonlight in Mayo, which was recorded by one of the best traditional musicians we have here in the west of Ireland, the one known as Mr. Pat Friel.
Thank you.
Pat, you're a long time in the music business. Any particular reason for the title of this new album?
Well, it's as I was said, it's not really a new album. It's a combination of other albums we made. We took the songs from it, from the other albums, because it was mainly traditional tunes that was on it. So we put all the songs together in one album, and we called it Moonlight in Mayo.
So once again, on the launch of his great album, Moonlight Mayo, the one known as Mr. Pat Friel.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, our next guest is, I suppose, a show wouldn't be complete without a storyteller. And it's a great old Irish tradition, it's part of our heritage. Would you please welcome Mr. Joe Carney?
Johnny was a brilliant student. He flew through primary school, he flew through secondary school, and he went off up to UCD. And after about a month, anyway, the pillar of Irish society, Mammy, decided that she'd go up to see him. So he went out to the station house to meet her, brought her back around the flat, showed her around the flat. Everything going grand. And after a few minutes, he introduced her to his new flatmate, Vicky. Now, Johnny's mother was typical of an awful lot of Irish mothers. She could actually sit there and, without ever opening her mouth, ask a question. She had one look at Vicky. She wasn't opening her mouth, but she was asking a lot of questions. And after a while, the penny dropped to Johnny, so he decided he might as well make some kind of an attempt to answer the question that his mother never asked. "It's not like what you think at all now, mother," he said. "Vicky is my flatmate, and we have separate rooms." Mammy was happy enough. She went off down the country, and about a week later, the postboy arrived at her door with a letter from John, thanking her for coming up, really appreciated her company. Vicky appreciated her company, delighted with everything. But you know now something, mother? Since you left, Vicky has a problem. Vicky is missing her sugar bowl. Now, I'm not saying, mother, that you took the sugar bowl. I'm not saying, mother, that you did not take the sugar bowl. But the fact remains, mother, that since you left, Vicky is missing her sugar bowl. Mother had one look at the letter anyway, and she decided she better reply to it. So she wrote back up to John, thanking him for the great time they had, really appreciated all they done and so on. Now, she said, John, to get to the core of your letter. I'm not saying, John, that you're sharing your bed with Vicky. I'm not saying, John, that you're not sharing your bed with Vicky. But the fact remains, John, that if Vicky was sleeping in her own bed, she'd have found the sugar bowl.
Oh, that was great.
I've been away from Ireland now for nearly 50 years, and thoughts of home are still so dear to me. Often I gaze across the ocean and my eyes grow dim with tears. Let me tell you of the visions that I've seen. As a barefoot child I stood there when the summer sun did shine across the steeple of that little church down there. And we gathered every evening while the weather would be fine around the chapel gates in Cooraclair. There were weddings planned and matches made and stories old and new around among the boys that gathered there. And we played those football matches till the final whistle blew around the chapel gates in Cooraclair. Now I'm growing old and weary in this land so far away, but I'll return to Ireland yet, if God will spare. at the closing of my days, inside the chapel gates in Curraclare, inside the chapel gates in Curraclare. Garmil Magas.
The wonderful Anne-Marie O'Riordan, ladies and gentlemen, absolutely superb. Well, we've almost come to the end of the Moonlight in Mayo show here in Cushlock Community Centre. Just before we go, we'd like to thank all the artists, to our audience here, a wonderful audience. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your company again at the same time next week to take us out Moonlight in Mayo. Garmina Maga, thank you and good night.
Just a year ago today, I left old Erin's Isle. My heart was throbbing in the sunlight of my Colleen smile. In all my dreams I seem to hear her sweet voice soft and low. I know she's waiting where we said goodbye in old Mayo. Everybody knows the Irish eyes are shining and an Irish heart is pining, where I kissed her and caressed her in the gloaming long ago. Loving Irish arms bless me with true Irish love, caress me, and sweet Irish lips, well bless me.